Hello and welcome, everybody. This is a long time coming. I haven't done one of these in a while, but this is a Meet the Designer one-on-one interview with our very own Meg of Gemini Designs. I'm really excited to have Meg on. I'm hoping to do more of these interviews because I think it's really fascinating to learn more about all of our favorite crafters and designers. And in particular, I started this series to give folks who might not be as familiar with what all goes on with design teams and how did we all get to where we're at and what are we doing these days now that we've had some design team experience. So I hope that anyone who's watching live, if you have questions for Meg or for me, feel free to drop them in the live chat. And welcome to everybody who's already here. Thanks for hanging with us. And of course, this will be available on the replay afterwards too. So without further ado, let's welcome Meg. Meg.
Hello, everybody. Happy to
um,
have y'all here.
Thanks for agreeing to do this with me. And before we get rolling, because we do have some questions that I've prepared for in advance, you've seen in advance. But before we get into those questions, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit to folks who may not already know you?
My name is Meg Breiter. I live in mid lower Michigan, kind of halfway between Flint and Lansing, if anybody knows where those are. I have two dogs, both Basset Hounds, and a husband, and my son lives in Lansing with his girlfriend. So I like to color cards. That's why I am here. And I guess that's, oh, you can find me on Instagram, meg.2241. And I think that's all the big news, right?
Speaking of, yeah, I mean, I think that's good to get us rolling. Let me bring up our questions. So let's get started with our first question. So let's take us all the way back to the beginning and let us know how did you actually get started in paper crafting and um, how long ago was that you got into paper crafting also?
Oh my gosh, Lynn, you're trying to date me here.
Oh, okay. No dates.
No dates. I'm a bit older than you, let's just say that. I did begin paper crafting with a couple of my friends. The first friend was Carolyn Zano. She's my best friend. And we started doing scrapbooking with a couple of companies that were out and about then but are not around any longer, if that tells you anything. We like to shop more than we like to scrapbook, as a lot of people do, I think. I've only scrapbooked 3 books total in my entire life. I started out with my son. That was when he was about 1.5 years old, and I never finished it. And he's 37 now. So that tells you something. I also did a scrapbook of my husband's family to give as a present to his mom, and that was pretty cool. And then I've done Disney vacations with my girlfriends. I don't like to journal, so scrapbooking really wasn't easy for me. And so I stopped doing the scrapbooking and I went into card making with my friend Tina. And we got into Close to My Heart, and then we went to Stampin' Up. And we stayed with Stampin' Up for quite a few years. We were both um, selling at that time, but I decided that selling wasn't really my cup of tea. So I got off that bandwagon. I began to sell, again, sell, but I was selling cards at a storefront with my sister's friend, Hazel Hotwagner, in Lansing. And that was much better because Hazel was a very boisterous, fun person to be around, and she lifted everybody's spirits, and it was very fun. Very fun place to sell. So I liked that.
I,
Then go ahead.
so is stamping up, for folks who don't know, can anybody sign up for that, or is it like a design team where you get chosen to do it,
No,
or how does
anyone
one get
can
into that?
sign anyone can sign up. You find someone who is already signed up and you sign up underneath them. So if you like what they do, sign up with them. If you don't like what they do, don't sign up with them because you're stuck there for life. So I happened to get under a really great person. I mean, her sales were ginormous, but she liked to do only simple, easy cards, and that wasn't really my style either. Um, when you sign up, you have to commit to buying so much of the stuff, of the supplies, per a 3 month period, and you can continue being a seller if you continue making that limit of sales. And once you don't make that limit of sales, you get I think it's a 1 month reprieve period, and then if you get the sales back up, you can stay. If not, you're kicked back to just a customer. So
Oh wow. So it's very performance based. Like you
performance
have to
based.
be delivering.
Yes. And I was not very good at doing that because I felt guilty going, and I felt like I was making people buy from me, and that gave me a very creepy feeling, and I didn't like that. So that's why I quit.
Okay. And then there was a question from Peggy. She says she just signed up for your next coloring class, and she's wondering what
Yeah.
are the names of your pups?
Well, they're funny named, and they both have a reason behind them. My little girl is Zena, and my little boy is Zolfo. I say little because they're Basset Hounds and they're very short, but they are 65 pound dogs, so
Oh,
they're very big dogs as well. Um, Zolfo was named because Jim's family lives in Florida, and when we traveled to Florida to visit them, we always passed this place called Zolfo Springs. And he said, if I ever get a Basset Hound, that's what I'm going to name my dog, Zolfo. So that's how that came about. And then we actually got gifted the dogs, both dogs, for a Christmas present from my friend's daughter.
aw.
So happy Christmas, you now have two pups. So we named Zena, right, we named Zena after her middle name and her grandmother's first name, which is Gazina. So Gazina. And so Zina is our Zena.
Oh,
So they're
how
both named.
cute.
Yeah.
That's adorable. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's really cool in terms of your scrapbooking journey, because it sounds like South Park IED says your journey, Meg, sounds like hers as well with scrapbooking.
I swear a
So
lot of people started scrapbooking. So,
yeah.
and now we're card making. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, so did you start scrapbooking because of your son and wanting to kind of capture all those memories?
Yes, and my friend had just had her niece's kids being born. So she had a niece and a nephew, both had children at the same time. And she's like, oh, I want to scrapbook them. So that's how we
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. I mean, I was scrapbooking in high school because I was big into photography, but and those were the days when you like actually printed photos out. So I
In a
had a
dark
lot of
room,
print,
yes.
right? So, well, I did do darkroom stuff, but not until college. But it was like what do you do with all those photos? So like I actually have photo albums, but also some scrapbooking kind of stuff too. I have like one. actually. I shouldn't say some. I finished one.
Yeah, you finished though. I only finished one as well. That was the gift from my husband's mom, not the
Oh,
others.
well, that's awesome. Okay, so I think I cut you off. You were just about to tell us how you got into card making, um,
So I was
and
selling
selling them. Yeah.
I was selling many things at the shop. I did jewelry and needle felting and card making and all sorts of stuff there because I like to do a lot of things. And then someone said, "Do you have a site online that we can buy it from?" And I'm like, "No, this is storefront is the only place that I sell it." And then I got to thinking, well, why don't I put things online? So I decided to start posting some of the things I did, and I got into it from what is their name? They do a lot of fairy things.
A fairy
They're
stamper?
in the UK. Not before, no, before Fairy Stamper, I got into the other one from the UK.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, because I really liked her designs and she did beautiful work. And why can't I think of her name? I don't know.
Don is suggesting, is it Lavinia?
Yes, Lavinia stamps. I love Lavinia stamps, and I bought a whole bunch of them, and I started coloring them up and posting them online. And that's when Fairy Stampers contacted me because they were selling the Lavinia stamps at that time, and they asked if I wanted to be on their design team. And they were having a um, show over in the UK. I can't remember the name of that, Stamp and Craft or something like that, which is no longer happening now either. But so I said, well, what do I have to do? She said, just make some cards with the stamps we send you and send us the cards and we'll put them over on the show. And, that she said, we'll make sure to, that we tell people who's making them and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, that's a way to get my name out there. So sure, why not? And so it wasn't all it was cracked up to be in the end, but I
We'll
did
get
that.
into that. We'll get into that
Yeah.
later.
And, and so from Fairy Stamper taking me on, other companies started asking me to design for them. So I did. I went through a few different places and now I ended up where I'm happiest with Sweet November. I'm with Artful Angel and I'm with, can I say it, Lynn?
Well, let's just save it for later.
Okay.
We'll get more into the design team stuff because
All right.
there's some additional questions. um
Okay.
so like these are the get to know Meg kind of questions before we get into design team stuff that's specific. So interesting to hear your journey. I'm always very fascinated like how everybody got started, and I love how a lot of us started with scrapbooking and then not so much these days. If you had to describe to somebody who's never seen your work before, what would you say is your style? Like, how would you describe your own style?
Well, I don't really have a style, so I say my style is eclectic. I get excited by a lot of different things. That's why I'm in a lot of different crafts. So I get my creativity from things I see in the world. So I enjoy realism, but I also enjoy comic style. So my work falls into the middle of these two really basically for most of the time. Um, I enjoy new media, old media. I try to mix them as often as I can. But right now I'm kind of earmarked in the Copic Marker section. So I'm doing a lot of Copic Marker coloring. But some of these other places are bringing out different parts of it. Like I love your dyes, Lynn, because that gets me into something different than coloring with markers. So I enjoy layers, whether it's ink, paint, different mediums on paper, or everything mixed together. And I believe as an artist that we should never be stagnant and always strive to learn new things, new techniques, etc. So That's that.
Um, so question, because
Mhm,
I know you've said that like you're relatively new to
mhm.
Copic marker coloring. So what was your preferred coloring medium before Copics?
I like
Like what was your
Inktense
go-to?
pencils. Inktense pencils because you can color them as a coloring pencil. I mean, I started with Prismacolor pencils, but I like the Inktense because then you could add water and make it look more colorful faster. And the Inktense is permanent once dry, so I didn't have to worry about it reconstituting like you do with watercolor pencils. So I really liked the Inktense, and my friend got me a set of those for Christmas, and I
You
liked them a
have good
lot.
friends. They give good
I
Christmas
do.
presents.
And my husband, he gives me the best because he lets me choose.
Oh. Yeah, he got you the Copics, right? Didn't he get
He
you?
did. Birthday and Christmas. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. How awesome. Okay. So, um I mean, when I look at your style, I feel like maybe it's the type of stamps that you color. I feel like a lot of it's very fantasy,
I do like
which I
fantasy.
love.
That's my love love.
Yeah. Okay, so it
Hi,
comes across.
Sherry.
It comes across. Um, I
I like it
guess.
because it's so freeing because you aren't tied to realism or just plain coloring. Fantasy can be any kind of coloring. It lets my
Right.
imagination go, and I like that.
Yeah, there's some like there's a lot of whimsy to your art and your style, which I love. Fabulous. Um so now let's learn a little bit about your experience on design teams. And so just give us like an overall picture of, just so that we can keep this in the back of our heads as folks are um, learning about your specific experience on design teams. Like how many different teams have you been on, and how long have you been designing for like company design teams, not just for an actual brand?
I think it's about 6 or 7 design teams, and I can't remember exactly. You know, it's a diabetic brain; it doesn't always work. So, I forget what your other question was. Oh, how long have I been designing? I've been designing for about 4 years now. My husband said I started doing it right after I quit my job at McDonald's. Woo woo. And that was just as COVID was really coming on strong. And
Oh
he said
my
he didn't
gosh,
want me working there.
has it
It
been
hasn't been 4 years.
Wow.
COVID's been around too long now, don't you think?
That's wild. I guess yeah, you're right, because that was around 2000, the
Hmm.
beginning of 2000, right? Oh man. Um that's a shocker. That okay, so that was with Fairy Stamper, right? Was
Yes.
your first?
Fairy
Okay.
hugs. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then
Very hard.
I And then I think Artful Angel was no, that wasn't Artful Angel. It was you were on this team, and they do a lot of different companies within the
Oh
team, and
yeah,
now I can't remember the name.
I know which one, but we don't have to name them. We don't have to name them.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've been on teams for maybe a handful of years, a handful or so of different companies. I think that's just good context for us to keep in mind. So you kind of went into this a little bit, but can you tell us what made you decide to actually join a design team?
Yeah, I'll have to say honestly, yeah, it was the free merchandise. and the bit of kudos they give you for your completed artwork. So I did like both of that. I really didn't know or understand what a DT was when I started, or what to expect, or even how to, post anything. So it was really a huge learning curve for me. Um, I was not in that group of people who know it coming out of the womb, so computers are still a mystery to me. I
So,
try to ask my son things, but that doesn't work.
yeah, so question on that. Like, and maybe we'll get into this a little bit, but were you already on social media, at least as a consumer of social media, like looking at Instagram, even if you weren't posting on Instagram, like looking on Facebook, even if you weren't really posting?
Not before this, not before Lavinia. Well, once I saw Lavinia's stamps, I started watching her videos and got
Oh,
into everything then. So just
okay.
decided that what she was doing was cool, and I tried to do the same kind of things and different things, and that's really what started me. And wow, it sure has blossomed from there.
Yeah, I mean, Danny commented earlier that she says you've come a long way in a short amount of time, which absolutely. Um, and Jess says joining a DT is a great way to get started and build up supplies. Yeah. Because you do that is the primary compensation is, the free products. So
Yeah, if they paid us, that would be nice too, but they don't.
yes, and that is something that is, I mean, we can dive into that a little bit. So, do you feel like, um, what are your thoughts on how designers are compensated as part of their design work?
Well, I do like free merchandise, but you don't get to pick it. So it might be something you're not totally interested in. But I decided a while ago to embrace that and say, well, how can I make this mine? Even if it's something I really don't wouldn't have chosen for myself, I try to make it mine by adding, fancy colors or different techniques to it to make it something I'm proud of. So
Yeah, yeah, very cool. So, what is, I mean, I know you've already kind of mentioned that you didn't really know, you know, the world of design teams and what all would be expected or involved, but having now had that experience, what would you say was your favorite thing about being on the design team that you did not expect?
because it took me so long to figure out what a DT really consists of. Um, I didn't really, at first know why I liked it, but I do like it. I like the like-minded crafters, that the people that are willing to help and support you, and tell you what's good, what's not as good, what you need a little bit of work on. I enjoy that. I love that feedback. And I wish more people would be honest enough with you to say, if you did this, it might make it a little bit better. But I was so lucky to have my first DT coordinator, I think they're called, the people who are the head of the DT team. She was so kind, so helpful, helped me with all the computer stuff, everything. So I really, really enjoyed that. And I decided that if all DTs were like that, what's not to like, right? So the support and the kindness of others in the group is really what I like best.
Okay, so was it, because that's kind of interesting that that was your experience, because did your, in terms of giving you constructive feedback, was that from your design team coordinator? Was it from the company owner or your teammates?
It started with the design team coordinator. but not really with the teammates. They were all positive all the time, which is okay, but sometimes you need a little help in other areas. And my design
Yeah.
team coordinator, although she never said anything bad, she did say, um, like I didn't know anything about lighting pictures or anything like that. So she helped me out in that area and suggested things I could do to make the lighting of the photographs better and, make things look better, adding things to the background, which I don't do anymore, but stuff like that to make the photos look good. She taught me about watermarks and things like that. So she really helped me through a lot of things that I knew absolutely nothing about, and I really, really appreciate her.
Oh, that's
And simple
awesome.
thank you.
So question here from Marta. Is it stressful to be part of a DT in terms of creativity and timing and everything else that's involved?
Well, if Lynn goes to the next question, I will answer
Okay. Well, that's a good segue. Let's do that then. All right. So, what is your least favorite thing about being on a design team that you did not expect?
that. Well, I do have two least favorite things, but first one I already touched on about making the images my own if I didn't care for them. But deadlines, that is a biggie. Having to know when and how to post the right things at the right time. If life happens, it doesn't matter. You still have to have your post done. So, yes, being on a DT is very stressful. And it's how you handle the stress. And I am learning that calendars are really your best friend. Because if you have it marked down in advance, you know that it's coming. I look at the beginning of the week. I try not to have anything post that I have to do in the beginning of the week, although that's coming up. But so that I have time to create the first couple of days of the week for the mostly on the weekend. So I'm finding that less stressful than, oh my gosh, I have to have one done today, kind of thing.
Right.
So, yes, I do find the stress level very high, and how you cope with that is a big deal. So, if you have some good coping mechanisms in place and some people behind you that are there to calm me down and help you out, then you'll be good to go on a DT.
Yeah. Is it so would you say that the stress for you mostly is the deadlines?
Deadlines, yes, I'm not only a Gemini, but a diabetic Gemini with ADD. So, I have three strikes against me. So I can't hold things in my head. I flit from place to place. Lots of squirrels around here, and when my sugar goes bad, my brain goes away. So all those things are.
Oh. Okay, so then or do you find it because you mentioned that you don't get to pick all the most of the time you don't get to pick, what it
Mhm.
is you're working with, and what you've tried to do is always, find a way to kind of make it your own and add your own creative twist to it. Is that stressful or do you find that like a fun challenge?
It was super stressful in the beginning until I got that mindset set in my head, and now I find it slightly challenging, but fun challenging because that's my time to play. That's where I say, okay, playtime. You don't really like this, but let's see what we can do with it to make it fun. So I
Uh,
do enjoy that.
well, but on that note, do you know how sometimes people say like as soon as you like start I guess trying to make money from your hobby that it then becomes
Mm.
work and it no longer is like an enjoyable hobby where you're just playing. Um, have you felt at all that that mentality as part of a design team that it's no longer play, it's feeling like work or no?
It it was. I had a company that I worked for. We won't name it. That expected you to use all of their release, and sometimes that was up to 45 stamps. and you had a week to do it in. So
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
that's stressful. And I did find that that was getting to be too much work. And my family, my friends all said, you got to get out of that. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We see the effect. So you need
Yeah.
to change something. So
Oh,
I did.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you did because, yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of all need to find our limits, right?
hmm And for
So when,
everybody, it's different.
right. And so, being on a design team doesn't mean that you have to like be there forever. You can
Right.
always step
Because
away.
they do usually make you sign a contract. And I say usually because some people don't, but and you have to be careful about what that time frame is. Some people are a month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year usually. And I happen to be on one now that's for life, and I really love it. So, but
No,
they give you choices, and they're really good about letting you be you. So I like
that's awesome. Just a quick shout out to Michelle, 'cause I think she's in Florida. So for everybody who's in the Florida area, I hope you're all staying safe. I know Milton is on its way, and it's supposed to, I think, be a big one. So
be well, Michelle, and anybody else who's in the past, because that's a scary, scary thing, especially one after another.
I know, right? So hopefully you're safe and your loved ones are safe and everything too. And hopefully it just misses you or like dies down a lot. um so yeah, so that's pretty incredible though, like just to hear about the like the difference between the experiences that you've had on different companies. So,
Yeah,
because 45 stamps in
it's a
a
lot.
release is a lot.
That's a lot. Some of them,
So,
I could put together on a card, but I did have to use all of the stamp sets. So
yeah, yeah.
I just said,
Um,
okay, what can I mix with what?
right. Like, can you use 5 together?
I tried as much as I could.
Um, oh, I love this. Michelle, I like that you're putting Q in front of your question. So, folks, if you have questions, feel free to do that. It helps me to identify it too. So, Michelle says, Meg, I love your background. Did you make that?
No, I didn't. I bought it. It's part of a photograph background. It's just a piece of plastic, and it's hanging from a clip-on tea bar that I have on a table behind me because I didn't think I wanted to show my house to y'all.
It does look like kind of your mixed media kind of
My
style,
style, yeah.
though.
That's why I picked that one. Not only is it turquoise, but it's my style, a little rough and rugged.
I love it. I love it. Fabulous. Okay, um, so then, having now kind of heard a little bit about what your favorite thing is about design team, maybe what your least favorite thing is. How would you describe your most ideal design team? Like what are you
Mm,
looking for nowadays?
well,
Now
that
that you've had a few years, a couple, 3, 4 years under your belt, like what are you looking for now as you think about whether or not you join a team?
that's a pretty big question, and at this time, as of now, um, I do like the helpful GT coordinators still because I am still not very good at computerese. Lynn helps me an awful lot, and I'm sure that's a drag on her, but she's really, really helpful to me as a friend, and I appreciate you a lot, Lynn. I mean, a lot. So that's part of what I would like to have in a DT coordinator, someone who's also willing to help. Because anybody can make cards, right? We see them everywhere, but not everyone knows how to do that behind the scenes computer shenanigans, as I say. We have to create we have to create as a DT member beautiful presentations of the cards, and they have to post well, and they have to be on all the different social platforms, which I'm still not good at. I'm really interested in learning how to do videos, and Lynn's helping me through that, but I still can't do it by myself yet. But um, so another big thing is patience. Someone has to have patience with me. Um, I know that because of my age, I don't learn as fast as some other people because of my sugars and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a slow learner, but I also am not a fast learner in the fact that if I have to remember a formula or, something like that, I have trouble with that. But I've always had that because of my ADD in my whole life in school, etc. I always got good grades, but once it came to the formulas in math class, no, I couldn't remember one of them. So that tells you a little. Another thing, I never learned how to do multiplication tables, same kind of thing. But so, anyways, so people who will give you friendly reminders on what you're posting and when you're posting, that's good. That's also a GT coordinator job. And I guess the freedom to choose. I am on a team that I love, 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 and they have a series of stamps and or digitals that they put out at a time, but they let us pick how many we want out of all of those to create with. And I have decided that
Oh.
three or four is my limit, so I pick three or four of what they are presenting, and I design with those.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of nice to have. Um, Not only are you choosing what to work with, but also like how much, so that you can
Hmm.
also balance your workload, I guess. So,
Yes, yes.
okay.
Because of course we want the whole thing, and that's what I had with my first DT. I got the whole thing, but then I had to use the whole thing in a short period of time, and that's what I found stressful. Now I get to choose how many I want, and it's not as stressful because I know I can finish that amount in the time allotted. So
Right. Okay. That's
I wish all
cool.
DTs did that.
Well, so then my question to you is this though. Um,
Mhm.
because it sounds like a lot of what you're looking for is how supportive the team is, how supportive the coordinator is. So how does one go about
Mhm.
gauging that before joining the
That's a
team?
toughie. But I find how they approach you and what they say in the first meeting really is indicative of how they will react later. So if they're all brusque and businesslike and, just the facts, ma'am, that's probably not a DT for me. If
Oh,
they are
isn't that me?
friendly and
Aren't I like that?
no, Lynn, you are so friendly. Look at you giggling now on there. So who would do that if they were all brusque and. So you are great. I'm
I don't
popular,
know.
so
That's funny. So then wait, but okay, so you said your first meeting with them. Like have you always been sought out, or have you been applying
um,
and have reached out to join
I have
teams?
always been sought out. They've always asked me. So I
Wow.
don't know what the other end is like, but when they come and they ask me and they say, we have this and we'll let you choose, what you want to work with. And, if they're all nice and friendly and willing to work with me, then heck yeah, I'll do it. So I get a lot of guest appearances that way. So I
Yeah.
like that too. And a
Okay. That's
lot of people
awesome.
have asked me to stay, but I can only handle so much. Guest appearances are good. I can put those in almost any time. But if
Right, right.
if I'm adding another whole full DT, it's going to get me back to that stress level. So
Yeah. Okay. So you don't generally apply to teams. You just
I have never applied to a team.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know how it works. I don't know how it goes. I don't know how you would figure out how to apply for a team. People say there are websites that show you, but I don't know where to find
Yeah,
those either.
I love so Don's comment is it's because you've got talent.
Well, thank you, Dawn.
People,
Love
people
ya.
are people are flocking to you.
I wouldn't say we are flocking, but people are still coming. So
Um, so Don also says, I feel like it would be tough to represent with something that didn't really interest me. So why not choose what we would love to use to represent the company? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I
But as
mean,
I said,
I
if it's something that you wouldn't choose for yourself, make it something that you could be proud of. Make it something that is yourself by
yeah.
medias or, colors or whatever you want. There are ways to make something that you don't care for into something that you really do enjoy.
Right. And so I do kind of understand like, if you're a small company and you have only so many designers on your team, but you need like photo inspiration for all of the products, um, like you kind of need everybody to do a little, to pitch in,
Right,
right? And with that
right,
effort. And so it does kind of make a little bit of sense why sometimes you don't get to choose because, uh, the company doesn't have like much
right.
option,
They don't have a
So
choice either sometimes. That's life.
yeah,
That's why you have to deal. That's where some of the stress comes in, but it's, as I say, it's how you handle it, how you make it your own that makes the difference. That's what I
right.
recommend to everybody.
So Marta had a question for me. She says, Lynn, do you have a class on how to make videos? Okay, so funny that you should ask this, Marta, because so I've started a thing called Crafting Masterclass series, and we'll go into more of that later, but one of the things that I'm actually trying to actively plan is a boot camp for designers to get into design teams and to get into um, what Meg described as like all the other stuff. So, you know, like the things that are not about making, your talent and making, cards and projects and whatnot, but like all of the social media stuff. So the short answer is no, but the longer answer is maybe someday. Um, and then Marta's question to you, Meg, is do you also receive free products as a guest designer? So have you got like
Yes,
those guest spots? Did you get free stuff?
yes, I've always gotten free stuff. Sometimes it's only a digital, but most of the time you get product. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Danny, this is good advice from Danny. She says, that's why you should really love the company, just as their style in general, because then, chances are you might love some things more than others, but hopefully you're like more towards the love than
Yeah.
the other end of the spectrum. So, oh, this is a good question from Michelle. Meg, where do you get your ideas and inspiration from?
Oh, I get that. Like I said in the beginning, I get it from everywhere in the world. I really love the great outdoors. I really love, even the minutiae of the great outdoors. Like if I see a raggedy old mushroom or something, that's some of my altered artwork, if it's, peeling and like the boards are peeling back here, that kind of stuff fascinates me. So if I can take something from something I've seen and apply it to an image, yay, that's more the better for me. So I just like to think that I think outside the box a little bit. So
Yeah. I mean, do you get inspiration from other designers and like seeing other cards that are posted online?
That I do. I do. Uh, a little more talk about that later too, but one of the things I am coloring up soon is actually from inspiration from another designer on one of my other teams, and I really enjoyed what she did, and so I made it my own.
Okay, so question on that because I'm always a little bit curious everybody's take on this. So, if you see something, oh, let's put it this way. If I see something that you've done, like on a card that you've posted,
Hmm.
and then I've decided, oh, let me case that, like copy and share, or let me borrow some of those ideas.
Right.
Um, what is your thought on uh the etiquette for crediting, where you're getting your inspiration from?
Now, if you know where your inspiration is coming from, give them credit because that was their inspiration first. You don't know where they got their inspiration from, but the person you got it from, give them credit, and that's really all you can do. Um, because there's nothing new in this world. Things have been over and done over and over and over again. So, I mean, I know design stuff from way back in my art days. So, um, you don't know where you don't always know where you pick things up.
Right.
So
Right.
when you can,
Yeah.
give them the
Okay.
credit.
I mean, do you at all ever feel slighted if it feels like that was very clearly inspired by you, but you didn't get the inspired by, or you didn't get the head nod, for that?
Well, I am human, so sometimes I go, but then that's all I say about it because I am proud. They say copying or whatever they say, I don't even know, is what do they say?
Like, what is it? Imitation is the best form of
Imitation
flattery or something
is
like
the best
that?
form of flattery. Correct. That is exactly what I think. So if they're going to imitate or try to imitate what I do, more power to you. Um, so I really enjoy when I see people picking up things that I have done and using them to their advantage. And I really think that's how people grow. And why should we as artists be stingy with that kind of thing? Because it's out there. Share it. Make everybody happier. Make them better people, better artists. Whatever they can take from you is a compliment, and think of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with like there were two things that you said that really resonated. One was that um kind of the gist of it was that, it's been thought of before. Like, you know, a lot of ideas have been out there in various forms, and as much as we all have put our personal marks on things, um it's probably some derivation of something that somebody else has also thought of that maybe we didn't actually see, maybe we did, and it's just been a seed, and then it popped out later. so you don't
Exactly.
so personally, I don't ever care. Like, if somebody has done something that I feel bears a remarkable resemblance, um, I don't really care, but I mean, I know that, you know, um, for other people, that's kind of a big deal because maybe that's like their thing, that's their brand almost, or that's um kind of, what they want to be known for, and so it does make sense, that they want to get the credit for it so that more people can discover them as the source,
Mhm.
which makes sense. So, I mean,
It's
I
okay
think
to want recognition.
right, I think so. I think so. Um, I totally agree. I just think that it's it's a lot of work to be bothered by.
It is.
Feel like
I
I
don't
feel
want to
like
work that hard.
I don't want to work that hard either. I just want to, because
Have
the
fun.
other thing, well, the other thing that you said that resonates with me is that, like the whole reason for me to share is just to put the ideas out there. And, what is good is putting the ideas out there if they're not meant to be used.
Yes.
So, I'm with you on that. I mean, I think you articulated it much better, but I got the gist of it.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Usually it's the other way
Um,
around, Lynn. So
this is good from Danny. She says it's hard in the digital age. Taking inspiration is one thing, but stealing your photo, oh yeah, and such is really
yes,
sucky. Um,
yes,
oh yeah, I'm sorry that that's happened to you. I agree. Yeah, I
right.
totally agree. That's a totally different thing is to like actually take somebody's photo and then like repurpose it or reuse it. Um, but I was
Like
thinking
in
more
some of the
like, yeah, I was thinking more like, oh, somebody, saw something that I did and did a very similar thing. I'm okay with that. I don't care.
right, some of those companies that are stealing stamp images and even the artwork people have promoted with, that is just wrong.
Yeah, and that is a very live wire topic as well, just the copyright issues
Hmm.
and it's pretty blatant. Like they're not even
It's
trying
very,
very hard.
very blatant and very hard to fight.
Yeah, because well, we're on the topic. We like literally just talked about this like in chat a moment ago. um because we're selling your digis now in my shop, and this did come up, so I asked Meg and Sire, who is the artist of the latest digi that to release, whether I'm supposed to be adding that like copyright thing that
Right.
um that normally, like, if when I buy a digi, well, not all companies do this though, but sometimes when I've bought a digi, it comes with like the what's it, like the readme, kind of whatever, the text that says, here's how you're allowed to use it, here's what you're not allowed to do, et
Hmm.
cetera, et cetera. And I realized, well, I'm not doing that. Should I be doing that? uh
Um, there. I think that's back from old school days where when people actually thought they could fight copyright laws, and bring people to task. But in reality, it takes too long, too much money to fight anybody over a copyright issue. So I
right.
think it's fine not to put that stuff on there because if people are honest, they're not going to do that. And if people are not honest, they're going to do it regardless. So,
Right. And that's the thing that yes, Danny, like the terms of use, because the whole idea is that if you buy a digi, you have the file, it's really easy for you to just like forward that email to somebody else. And um and you could forward it to like 100 people, there's no
no stopping
stopping
you.
it. It's cost prohibitive. First off, like, you wouldn't even really know unless, I mean, I don't even know how you would know. Um, and then, like, if you wanted to, I guess there might be some technology to like, digitally whatever it, but that's I don't know how to do that, so
And that's kind of why people put watermarks on things. But again, there are programs to take watermarks off, so that's not really going to help you either. So,
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it is, like you said, it's just not worth it to, like, try to legally enforce and run these things down, even if you could, right? So,
right, just like with shop owners, theft is a part of owning a business. So you have to think that, just like shoplifters take things out of storefronts, people are gonna lift your digis and whatnot and do what they want with them. It's wrong,
Yeah.
but some people don't care.
Yeah. Hi, Pam. Thanks for hanging
Hi,
with us.
Pam.
Yeah, Danny says watermarks don't really help, especially with those. Well, so the thing is that okay, double-edged sword, folks. Um, these days, like AI, photo editing has gotten really good. So, like, you can clean up with, good AI pretty much
Mhm.
any image and probably like they have the AI generate type stuff where you could say, "Oh, take this person out of my photo and replace it with XYZ." So I'm guessing, I've never tried this, but I'm guessing you could say, "Take this watermark off," just
Yeah,
like fill in the rest, you
you
know?
can.
So, it is kind of one of those things where it's you know, uh uh it's a losing battle. You can't it's like Danny said, it's the digital age and only so much that you can do because there's always some other digital computer tool that can like overcome all the things.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about computers, but I do know some of that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is true, Danny. That's why I was saying like earlier, they're very blatant. Some of the companies, they don't even bother. Like they leave the branding, they leave the design team watermarks.
Exactly. It's crazy.
It
And
really
nothing, and you
is.
can't do anything about it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm, so
Um,
sad.
it really is. That was quite a detour, but good questions, everybody. Keep them coming if you have them. Um, Delise wants to know the new DT. Uh, it's not it's not really a new design team. It's kind of an incognito design team.
Incognito design team. That's a good way to put it.
So we won't spill the tea on that. Sorry,
We
friend.
will. We will a little later.
Well, I mean,
Kind of.
not
Well, maybe not.
not
Okay.
we'll spill the tea on other stuff, but not
Okay.
the team.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I think this is the last question in our planned questions, but I do have some more follow-up questions after this. But um, for anyone who's out there who is a card maker, paper crafter, whatever, if they're thinking about exploring the idea of design teams, maybe trying to get on one, what is your number one advice to anyone who's considering joining a design team?
Well, Danny did touch on something. Know that team, what they create, and make sure it's something you like. But my take on that is make sure that you know what is expected of you time wise and keep a calendar of your events so that you can follow through on that better, easier, less stressful. So make sure you know time requirements, etc.
Yeah. So,
Because if you don't have the time to do it, you're going to be stressed from the get go.
yeah, that sounds two-part actually. That sounds like, understand the expectations and then be realistic about whether you can fulfill that or if it's just going to cause a lot of stress trying
Right.
to.
Yes. Creativity is the enemy of stress. It's really
Oh,
hard to be creative if you're stressed.
oh, that's so well put. Yeah, if you're always kind of crafting under the gun, I could see how that might not lead to your best work.
Right. Because then your mindset is get it done. I don't care what you do, just get it done instead of playing with it, be creative with it, making it fun for yourself. So I think
Yeah.
take the stress out of that. You can be creative, have fun, and enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's fabulous advice. I love that. I mean, I think for myself, um, I think the biggest thing is I think everybody needs to be honest about what they want to get out of a design team experience, and for everybody that's going to be different. So, and it might evolve as you, a creator, evolve as
True.
well. And so I think one of the things that I've learned is in the beginning, getting the free product was like awesome. It was like, oh great. Now look at how much money I'm gonna save because I'm getting it for free. Um, but the reality is that I think I spend more now because
Everything that goes with that. Yeah.
well, so it's twofold because it's, the one thing is, your point, it may not have been something that I would have purchased anyways. So I'm still purchasing the stuff that I would have bought before. So it's not like it has replaced
Right.
my where I'm spending my money. Um, I mean, because a lot of times, um, we would not have necessarily spent that much money, but then so that doesn't really stop our spending all that much. And
Not
then the
right.
other thing is sometimes on some teams, you kind of have to stick to the things that they have. And some teams, some companies are really good about letting you use other brands and stuff like that. But even when they do, I still sort of feel like I want to support what their brand is if they have it. So I have like, I don't know, 4 different sets of nested circle dies, which a
Oh
circle is a circle is
wow.
a circle, right?
Yes.
But if I'm making a video for Spellbinders, I like to try to make it using their circles. And would anyone know the difference? Maybe not. Probably not.
Only from the packaging that you bring out. If you don't bring out the packaging and you just bring out circles there, you're
Right.
gonna know.
And I don't always bring out the packaging because a lot of times for my videos I have everything pre-cut. But I still use their thing even if it's not shown in the video. Um,
Even
Mostly because I have a weird thing in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, if somebody bought it and it's not the exact size and they tried to make this card and they can't
mm,
find that particular size or it's not looking the same, then that
I
might be
see your point.
disappointing. So yeah, so then I end up buying other stuff from, that company that like you don't need 4 sets of circle dies, especially circles. All the
Right.
aspect ratio is the same no matter what. It's not like, oh, okay, you could have 4 sets of rectangle dies because every rectangle, you got tall
It's
rectangles,
different.
whatever. But yeah, so I do feel like, it hasn't really reduced my spending. And so
And we
over
like to buy.
time, yeah, well, there's that too. That's a hobby in and of itself.
It is.
Um, but I do feel like, whatever you're looking to get out of a design team, maybe be honest with yourself on that. And as those needs change, I think it's okay to evaluate whether any particular team is still meeting those goals, those needs of yours. And because I think when it does become like work, that probably also takes the joy out of it, which also probably um
It
means
shows.
that you're not putting your best foot forward. Yeah, shows. Yeah. So that's
And
funny.
just talking to your design team coordinator will help with that issue. Talk it through them, tell them what your problems are at this time, and together you can decide whether it's time to stay or go.
Right.
Danny, saving money, it's that funny.
I
What
know.
is saving money? We need to describe that better because I don't understand that very well.
I think that just for me that just means not paying full price.
Buy it on a deal. Yay!
As long as
Good to
it's like
go.
yeah, as long as it's on sale, that's I've saved money.
It's fair game. Well, good because I just bought a Brother Scanning cut that I didn't need. It was on.
Yay. I know because you don't super hate
I like
fussy
the
cutting.
fussy cut, so I'm like, why am
Yeah.
I buying this? But I was thinking, if I ever get into, we're getting into the digis and stuff, and what if I wanted to make stickers and sell those? Well, I'm not going to cut all those out fussy cutting.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Um, Peggy says yes on sale. She agrees with my definition.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I think that was our last like planned question, but folks let us know if you do have more questions for Meg or me. But I wanted to chat with you, Meg, a little bit about so what are you up to these days? And tell us a little bit about besides your design team um work. What are you doing? How are you staying
Well,
busy?
besides my design team, I am doing coloring with Meg classes with Lynn. And she is encouraging me to draw my own artwork for digis and then color it so that people can see how to color in different ways, different different fun things with coloring. And I'm really embracing this. I'm thinking it's very fun. I had to learn how to use a tablet to do this, but I'm
Well, you
getting
had
there.
to didn't you buy the
Yes, my husband bought me a tablet for Christmas, Mother's Day, birthday, so that this Christmas I'm not getting gifts because I already have it. So, but I think it was well worth it. I've got an Apple pen to go with it, so I can color directly on the screen, I'm not coloring yet, but I can design and complete an image directly on the screen, and then email that off to Lynn, and it's good quality, good enough for her to use as a digi, and she's really the brains behind the operation. I'm just the artist, but I do enjoy it.
well, I mean, you're so talented. So it's
Well, I thank you very much for that.
so for folks who don't know, Meg is the Meg behind uh coloring with Meg, and this was her very first digi, Flora Fairy, and it was for the advanced uh um colorless blender class that Meg taught. And so this is, I mean, it's you're so talented, Meg. So I'm glad that we can bring your art to the rest of the world so that we can we can use it and craft with it. And I do love that you are teaching us how to actually color like you too. So in our coloring with Meg, we get this pre-colored as a coloring reference, but also as a digi that we can buy and just use, which I love. But I like that you're sharing all the secrets and giving away all the secrets instead of keeping it a mystery so that more people can learn how to color and it like I'm blown away. Like I didn't do exactly, I mean I think I came kind of close
You
to
came very close. You're not telling people that that bigger fairy is your coloring. of the Meg Fairy, of
Oh,
the Flora Fairy.
yeah. Yeah, so
So the little
that's
one is my coloring, and the big one is Lynn's coloring. So look how similar those are. She did an excellent job.
thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very talented, girl.
Well, I feel like in my own kind of personal coloring journey, as it were, um, I was very happy with just kind of doing the same old thing, like, all the time, you know?
Mhm.
And I was fine with that, but I really feel like what I love most about your class is spending time with you, but what I love second most is that I am, like, learning new things and putting them into, like, you what you taught here, I have already used on another card. So, I love getting to, actually learn and like, not just exercise the muscles of coloring, but, build some new muscles too.
That's what it's all about. At least I hope so. I hope people are taking nuggets from it and using it in other places like you are. So I think that's the fun for me is seeing it being done elsewhere, that they are learning and growing and using what I'm showing. So I guess I'm not really teaching, but I am showing different ways to do things, and I find that fun,
Yay. Well,
rewarding.
I think you're
Pass
tea
it forward.
I yeah, I mean, I think you're teaching. I mean, I'm learning loads, so I feel
Oh,
like you're
good.
definitely teaching.
Thank you, Liz.
Do you wanna tell us about your next coloring with Meg class?
Yes, we have a new artist on the block for us. He's not new to art, but he's new to coloring for us. And it is Sire Anderson. At least I hope that's his name. And
Yes.
he drew up these gorgeous little Halloween critters for us. And the black and white is the digital you will get, as well as my coloring of said digital and Sire's coloring of said digital. So you'll get three digis out of this class, plus the how do I create this these fun effects. So I have a little bit of patterning. I have some see-through with that skeleton, and some words on a T-shirt. Just to add fun, cool little things to your images to make them fun. So I highly recommend the class, the new artist. I think it's going to be fun, and that is coming on the 20th. So what's the date today? Today is the 9th, and you have one more day, folks, to get those digis in that class for free. For free?
Yeah,
Yes, for free.
free.
So
100%. And
100% free.
so for folks who are interested in, and I mean, this is going to be shared tomorrow, but here's a sneaky peek of my coloring.
Lynn's coloring, yay!
So I used the alcohol, the blend. Well, I used a spritz of alcohol marker to do the lifting technique that Meg taught in the last class, and so that was a lot of fun. And I'm trying to get real quick to the class. Should have asked you for that earlier.
Oh,
Can you tell folks about the code and to get the free
yeah,
class?
the code is all in capitals FREE-SEJR. Free Sire.
Free sire.
We don't actually get Sire, but we do get his images.
We don't. Oh gosh, that's so funny. All right, I think I have the link here. Um, so there it is, folks. That's the link to the class, and it's Meg's affiliate link. So even though it is free, please still use Meg's affiliate link because the link will set a cookie for Meg. And if you happen to purchase anything else from my website within the next 30 days, then she gets a nice commission from that. So that's for the this this digi. Wait, I thought I had this. That's for this. And Meg already mentioned it, but in this you get the you get so you can get the digitals outside, like just the digitals
by themselves.
by themselves, and there are 3 individual digitals that you can get. The black and white, the pre-colored by Meg, and the pre-colored by Sire. So those are all individual if you want it, if you only wanted that. But why do that when you can actually get the Halloween Pals class? Because the class comes with the free color along with Meg, and if you've ever done a color along with us, if you've never done it, then what you get is 2 coloring pages, one that has a color reference and swatch bars if you want to swatch out your colors, and the other one just has a larger version of the image. So you get 2 coloring pages with the class, and you get all 3 digis. So the class comes with the digital files, which are PNGs, so that if you tend to work with a lot of PNGs, you're probably familiar with how to make scenes with them. And if you had landscape or whatever, you can put them in front of the landscape and all of that good business. So the course has both. And so you should have that. Marta, am I supposed to receive an email to download the images I already registered? Yes, when you ordered, you will have received an order confirmation that has the links to download. And when you log into your account on my website, if you go to your account page, there should be like a menu button for downloads. But you can email me offline if you need, and I can help you troubleshoot with that. Delise says,
See,
"What
Lynn's
what
very
is"
helpful. Sorry,
Um,
Delise, Sire is not free.
Sire does not come with the class. Just for point of clarification. Um, so let me show you what that looks like. So for folks who have not browsed my website, so this is the course page. This is what you'll see, and so Meg will teach us how to color this up. And I told Meg earlier I didn't realize just how much she did to the image until I looked again at just the illustrated lines because Meg added a lot. Like all of these little details, like the little graphic tee with the words, the bats on the little sweater. I actually thought that was stamped like that. I thought it was solid,
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." I didn't realize initially that you added all of that, like even the striped leggings. Really fabulous.
thank
So,
you.
so regular price is $24 for the class and for the 3 digital illustrations. But um, Meg shared. Oh, I should write that in the chat. Let me write it in the chat. The code. So for a limited time, we do have a code free sire. Or did you type it in already?
No, you did. That's good.
Okay, there it is. Um, so grab that for free while you can. Help spread the word if you can, because Meg and I both really enjoy doing these coloring with Meg classes, but we understand that not everybody can afford all the things. So when we launch a new class, we like to at least give you a code to get it for free. but our hope is that people will pay for this so that we can like,
Sometime.
yeah, so just so that we can like dedicate more time and energy to doing this and it's hard to do that when you're not being uh
Compensated.
making money, I guess. Marta asked, Meg, will you be using Altenew alcohol markers again for this one?
Maybe in the future, but for this one, no. This one I'm using Copic markers. I had to go to my fallback because I was doing fun things. And I know the Copics a little better than I have a bigger range than I do in the Altenew. So I wanted to do some fun effects because that's what the class is about, exploring fun with your markers and use Altenew if you have them, use Olo if you have them, use whatever you have, colored pencils, whatever. You can do all of that with these effects still and learn and have fun. So what you have, use.
So the Lisa's wondering, when is the class again?
It is
So the class it's always noted on the course page, October 20th, 2 p.m. Pacific. And then Peggy says, why can't we just share? So Peggy, to answer your question, if you are trying to share from the Coloring with Meg Facebook group, which by the way, we do have our very own Facebook group for anyone who has ever taken a Coloring with Meg class. That particular Facebook group is private, which means that that's why you often hear me say, you know, only members of the group can actually see what's posted in the group. And the reason, it's a security measure that Facebook allows us to opt into when we make a group private as opposed to public. And that way it protects everybody who's part of that community so that they have confidence that when they're posting and sharing things to the Coloring with Meg Facebook group, that truly the only people who can see it are members of the group. If the sharing ability was there, then it could be shared who knows where and who knows who would see it. And one of the things that one of the reasons why we made that choice when we set up the group, because it is an option, is to encourage people to share because we're all on kind of a journey of learning. And I know that sometimes it can be hard to share works in progress. And it's one of the things that we really
Want to
encourage
encourage.
because during the live color along, if you want the constructive feedback from Meg, and Meg is very good at if you want her to just be positive about your and encouraging, then she will. If you're looking for advice, then she will give it to you because not everybody wants it, right? But if
Right.
that's what you want, then we encourage you to share it live during the class, which is one of the unique things about Coloring with Meg because we do record, the tutorial live, giving folks who actually watch us, while, it airs the first time, the option to share their works with us in real time and then get your feedback and get your that's why I love it because I'm on screen with you coloring and so you're I love that you tell me when, Lynn, that's getting a little dark, or, just pointing those things out because otherwise we don't know what we don't know sometimes, and
Right.
we don't always see the things that and sometimes we're not happy with something, at least for me, I'll speak for myself. Sometimes, I'm not happy with something, but I don't really know why, and I don't know how to fix it. But when I color with you, I think you've told me before, like, you're holding the marker, like, too slanted, hold it more
Too
upright,
flat.
like,
Yes.
so you're seeing things that I would never be able to know to do
Uh,
or correct.
unless you're told. Right.
So,
It's a learning process. So if
right.
I
So
can
I
help you
have that.
learn,
Yeah, I have the benefit that you can actually see what I'm doing. and, and so you can actually correct me in real time, seeing what I'm doing. But the best that we can do for everybody else is to have you share it in the Facebook group. But in order to give people that assurance that it's not their works in progress aren't going to be on blast. Um, we've kept it private. Now, that said, getting back to Peggy's original question, if you see promotions like the one about Sire's illustrated Halloween Pals class coming up, Meg and I share that all over the place, all over our socials. So if you see it on our personal socials, you should be able to share. Um, it's just within the stuff in the group you can't. Um, well, how can we share the info of the class on our own Facebook page? So you can find a post that's from Meg or I to our personal socials and share that, or you can just write up something yourself if you wanted, and then just share a link out, um, and that works too. So
maybe with a picture that you colored, because we'd like to see that too.
that's a good point because if you've registered for the class, you do get access to the files right away. So you can download and share them. Share your own coloring of it, not share the digis, but share your own coloring. So
Right.
yeah.
And then you'd have a
Aw.
before and after class.
Delise feel better. Her hip is hurting her. Yeah, lay down, get
Oh,
some rest. Um, okay, Peggy. Well, maybe offline I can maybe help you with that. Thank you though. I appreciate folks who are you all are so supportive and encouraging of the class, and I'm glad that you are enjoying it, and so thanks for being willing to 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 share it. Hopefully I can help make that easier for you.
yes. Thank
Um,
you all.
yeah. So what's next for you? So we've got the Halloween Pals coloring with Meg coming up on the 20th. And
And right
then
after that, on the 21st, we have a master class series coming out that Lynn touched a little bit on in the beginning. And it's going to be a week long series of classes, starting with a freebie by me um, to explore the easy wonder dies and how to create with them, and just creating anything in particular. And then it's going to be followed up by another person every day having their own classes. It's going to be so fun. You're going to learn lots. You're going to enjoy it. So I highly recommend that too. And do you want to tell them about the kit, the box?
yes. Yes, I can do that. Okay, so Meg touched on this already. This is another series of online classes that I am putting together. So we've got Coloring Meg as a one type of online course or class, and my crafting masterclass series is my next sort of type of class. And this is our first one. It's called Easy Holiday Crafting. And there are 7 classes. 2 of them are recorded live. So here's Meg's, the live kickoff. And that's going to be followed by 1 class per day until we get to the end of the week. And we're going to wrap it up live with Gaz. And so I'm really super excited about this one. It's Meg mentioned, it is about how you can use your Easy Wonder dies if you have them, but you don't need the Easy Wonder dies to participate in this because the Easy Wonder dies did originate from my mini one sheet wonders, which are hand cut um, cutting guides for cutting down your 6x6 pattern paper. So every single one of these classes actually includes a video tutorial on how to cut both Easy Wonder die number 1 and number 2. So you have everything that you need with these classes. And Meg wanted me to show you the mystery box, which is an option as one way to get all 7 of the classes. So the mystery box comes for free, like all of the 7 classes that are part of the Easy Holiday Crafting. You're gonna get that for free with the mystery box, but only through to the end of masterclass week. So if you're interested in getting the box, if it hasn't sold out, it'll stay on the website, until it's sold out, really. But if you want the box, and at the moment, you're gonna get all 7 classes with it for free. So after the end of masterclass week, which is after October 27th, the box is just going to be the box of goodies. It won't have the classes included. And so let me pop into the chat the link to the mystery box. So that's there. Again, this is Meg's affiliate link. So do if you're interested in picking up one of these, then consider using her link and support her 'cause she gets a commission if you do. And for folks who are wondering like what's in the mystery box, I'll do a quick unboxing. So crinkle crinkle. Okay. So all right. So we're aiming for, about $300 retail value. Hard to really calculate it because some things aren't sold anymore. But it does start off with handmade cards in cello bags. They do have the matching envelope. So these are cards for you to use, for you to send. They're not signed by us, but they are made by us, the instructors in the class. So who's teaching? Carrie has a class on shaker cards. Yvette has a class on gifts and decorations. I have 2 classes, one on mask card making, and I'm doing a flip class. uh, oh, I would sneaky peek my flip cards, but they're not at hand. And then Meg's class, I'll let Meg tell us about it, but I really feel like her class is one of the most valuable just because it's how to make cards just in general and like how to come up with your own layouts and composition, which I feel like is so valuable because it's not how do you make this one specific thing, it's how do you actually approach your card making and how do you figure out what is a good layout? So I think that's going to be a very valuable class. So the mystery box comes with some cards made by the instructors for you to use or regift, whatever you'd like. And then we've included um, dies, mostly new, never used. Most of them are going to be in their original retail packaging. But some of them will have been, like, this is red rubber, and it doesn't look like it's been used at all. It's from you,
Nope,
Meg.
that's from my Stampin' Up! Days, and no, I haven't used.
Yeah. So and is it one of the retired ones? Or
Yes, yes, those are retired for quite a while.
yeah, so one of the great things is that you might be getting things that, aren't available for sale anymore, which are a real treasure. Delise was telling me the other day that, there was an art by Marlene kind of book of papers and ephemera and stuff, and full price it's usually like $20, but because it's out of print for so long, people are selling it for 60.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So now some things will be new, but not in their original packaging. That's just because some of us crafters, as soon as we get something, we just sleeve it and we kind of put it into our own organizational system. So that does happen sometimes. And then some things will be gently used, but they're complete. So you're not going to find something that's incomplete. And so we can count all of those back up as we're putting them back in, but it's usually something like 13 or so, definitely at least 10 stamps and dies. And then
Show the
we
bag.
have we have
Yeah.
a custom little zipper pouch with some goodies. So goodies might include some handmade tags. Here's one for Meg. I've got a couple from me. Some action wobblers in this, some twine, some die cuts, some baggies of embellishments. You get some of those. This one, not all of them will have a Nouveau product, but this has a full size vintage Nouveau drop in it. Washi, sample of ribbon, and you'll get a collectible button pin that's part of this masterclass series.
So cute.
And this one has a little sample of gilding flakes. So, oh, this even has like a little sample of sequins too. So, lots of little goodies in here. And then there's also, I won't flip through every single, but you get the equivalent of 2 full 6x6 paper pads. So in total, it's 48 sheets of pattern paper. They may not all be double-sided because they're all from different brands. And you'll get at least 4 sheets from each paper pad collection so that, if you're crafting, you kind of have a few sheets from the same collection. That way you can coordinate. And there's brands like Not Too Shabby, Cat Scrappiness, Bo Bunny, Echo Park, Pink and Main, Concord Ninth, Reverse Confetti, My Favorite Things, Graphic 45, donated by Meg, Basic Gray, donated by Meg. So I don't know. I would hoard Basic Gray if I had it, so I think it's fabulous.
I do.
So that's 2 full paper, the equivalent of 2 full paper pads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stamps and dies of various sizes, various brands. This is a great way to explore different brands. And then you get a handful or so of handmade cards from the various different instructors. So that is on sale, available on my website. The link I just shared is Meg's affiliate link.
Thank
So
you.
if you're inclined to make a purchase, do use her link so that she gets credit for that. And just a reminder, so until when the masterclass week ends, so masterclass week is October 21st through the 27th. When that event ends, the classes are still going to be available, but the all access pass is going to be no more. Like, we're not going to have that available. It's only going to be available for individual purchase. And as well, the mystery box will just be the goodies. It will not include the all of the classes. So at the moment, I think the best way to get the classes is to get the mystery box, because you're getting the physical goods and you're getting all 7 classes.
For
Um,
quite a
there-
deal.
it, well, I mean, I feel like it is, but I know for some people it's kind of a steep price. But keep in mind, we aimed for about $300 in retail value of the actual craft goodies and products that you're getting. And then it's $175 in online courses from the masterclass. And the price is $115. So, it's a good deal whether whether or not the classes are coming with it, but it's an even better deal now while the classes are thrown in there for free. And once the classes are done, prices go back up. And speaking of, so if you're not interested, just FYI, if you don't want the master class and you're not in a position to pay, Meg's class, Meg's class, because it's the live kickoff, here it's totally free right now. So you can actually enroll for Meg's class. Again, all the prices and all the discounts, they all go away after masterclass week. So enroll now. This one you don't have to pay anything for. And you can enroll for absolute free for Meg's class, which is the kickoff live stream, and for Gaz's class, which is the wrap up live stream. And Meg, do you want to tell us a little bit more about your class specifically? What are we going to learn?
Well, well, there's actually quite a bit to learn, but mostly it is how to go about designing a layout for your cards. And this can be for any kind of project, actually. And it shows you how to divide a card, what kind of layouts you can use. I like the using the alphabet to create a layout, and we'll go through that. Rule of three, the 2/3 rule, lots of different um, aspects of color, shape, size, um, value. There's a whole bunch of different um, definitions of things that we'll be showing and how you can use them toward your card designing. And I think it's very informative and it's going to be very fun. I have two pre-made cards that I'm going to give you instructions on how to create. Um, and we'll create those. They're fairly quick and easy. And then I thought if we have time that we would go through together and design another card using all those terms that we just will learn. So I hope
That's
you find that intriguing.
I didn't know about the alphabet one. Okay. That's new.
Yeah.
I wanna know what that's all about. That's not even in the description.
Oh, I think I told you
Yay.
about it, but yeah,
You you
it's a quick, easy way to design something. So
That's awesome. So as you can see, here are some samples of, and it's easy holiday crafting. So this is hopefully going to give you a lot of different ideas for how to get a jump start on your holiday crafting, whether it's cards or, gifts and decorations, which is what Yvette's going to teach, or memory keeping, which is Lala's class. And I just want to scroll down so that you can see um, here's a video. This will have a video for how to manually cut Easy Wonder die number 1, a second video for how to manually cut Easy die number 2. So if you don't have the dies, you you should still take these classes, especially Meg's, because Meg's class is just about composition and design techniques and I don't want to say rules, but guidelines maybe.
I said rules, but rules can be broken.
Okay, there you go. Rules, to follow or not follow. The instructors are all putting together a PDF so that you can print and have like a homework guide to do it in advance so that you're ready for when class starts. And as well for some folks who learn better with step-by-step instructions. it will have that as well. And then the last link will be the actual class. And every class will show you, your options for buying it. So you can always get the class by itself, kind of a la carte. You pick and choose the ones that you want to get. Meg's is completely free right now until the 27th. You can get the all access class, which has all 7 classes for a super reduced price. This option goes away after October 27th, or you can get the mystery box, which has the goodies. I showed you a sample box. Every box is completely different, by the way, because it's a de-stash from all of us. So it's our um, things that we've gotten that maybe we haven't crafted with, and so we'd rather it go to a nice home and get used
Yeah.
than to continue to sit in our own craft rooms. And so no 2 boxes are the same. And at the moment, we're throwing in for free the all access pass, which is all 7 classes. Again, after October 27th, this just becomes the box of goodies. So right now is kind of the best time to get these 2 paid options if you have the budget for it, if you feel so inclined. But I definitely think everybody should sign up for Meg's class because it's free. You don't have to pay anything.
Aw,
You don't need a coupon code. It's already marked down for free. So just do that and and then you'll I think your class is so valuable because of how your that topic can be used for everything. So
I
there's
hope so.
oh good, Brenda says she signed up this afternoon. Yay.
Yay! Thank you,
Okay.
Brenda.
So I just put Meg's affiliate link to the page that we're looking at right now. So anyone who feels so inclined, I would say it's free right now until the 27th. So you may as well just get. And all of the classes, they have a live airing of them, but afterwards, they're going to be um, on demand for you to watch and come back and rewatch whenever you want. Meg's class as the kickoff and Gaz's class as the wrap up, it's actually live. The other 5 classes are pre-recorded. So what's great about Meg's class is that being that it's live, we can ask her questions, we can give her suggestions. It sounded like Meg's got something fun planned where maybe we get to make something together, so it's a lot more interactive in that way. The other pre-recorded class, they will air live for the first time, and those who join during masterclass week will get the benefit of having the live chat in the community, and the instructors are going to all try to be there for their own class, so you can ask questions of the instructors. But you can still register for the class afterwards. It's just not going to have that live chat. That's just for the launch week, the masterclass week. So, thanks, Meg, for
You're
teaching this
welcome.
class. I'm
Yay!
I'm very, very excited for it.
Me too.
I think it'll be super, super fun.
I think the
Um,
whole week is going to be fun.
Aw, thank you. Well, I'm excited because it's something new and we already have the next one planned. And so our next master class is masculine makes. So that's going to be a really fun one.
Something we struggle
Um,
with.
Yay! Wait, just signed up for Meg's kickoff class. Yay!
Yay! Thank you, Peggy.
Thanks, Peggy. Peggy's so fabulous. She's such a great
She
supporter.
is. She's very good at supporting us. Yes. We appreciate you,
Sherry,
Peggy, so much.
yes, we do for sure. Sherry, this is a really, really good question, and I should have mentioned it if I didn't. But all of the classes are available for replay on demand, indefinitely, essentially. So if you cannot be there for masterclass week when it has its first airing, where it shows for the first time, then don't worry. You can always come back to the course page once you've registered and you can just watch the recording of it. So 5 of the classes are pre-recorded. So during masterclass week, it's kind of like a TV show, right? TV shows that have been pre-recorded, but they go live, they air for the first time on whatever day they air, right? So this is kind of the same thing where masterclass week is an event, October 21st through the 27th. So Meg is kicking off our fabulous event with an actual live kickoff. And she's going to teach us, and that's going to be real time live. There's going to be 1 class per day for the next 5 classes. Those will be pre-recorded. Um, and so and then we're gonna wrap up on the 7th day with another live, real-time live, with Gaz. But all 7 classes are gonna be available afterwards, and you can watch them as many times as you want, whenever you want, and, unless it starts costing me, like, a lot more money to, like, keep them on, the storage site that I use, they're gonna be available indefinitely. I might eventually have to retire classes, but we're not there yet. It's really a money thing, folks. I mean, all of this is very expensive to put together as I'm
especially for
finding
men.
out in real time. So, thank you for the question. That's a good one. Um, all right. So, Meg, I'm gonna give you the last word here. So, um, is there anything that you want to kind of promote that's coming up that you haven't already promoted? I know we've talked about a lot that's coming up for you, but any last words about design teams or coloring with Meg or masterclass or just whatever you'd like to say to kind of close us out?
Well, I think I've already said quite a bit about the design teams, and they are subjective. So keep that in mind. Make sure they're right for you, and don't be afraid to talk to your design team coordinator to find out what the nitty gritty is about the group. You can ask them all the questions you want before you sign up. Do it. Use your right to ask questions. Um, I have a sneaky peek of a new release coming up this weekend to be followed by the actual release the following weekend that I'm really excited about. We have some Christmas coming into to play, and
Wait, a
I
sneaky peek
really,
we can
really
see now or
you have to wait till the weekend. Sorry,
oh,
you have to wait till Saturday for that sneaky peek.
alright.
But they're so cute. Anyway, um, So, Masterclass is going to be an awesome learning experience. We have so many designers that are known to this group that are really good. So, um, please consider that. And all the goodies don't hurt, of course. We already talked about that. Um, I think that's it for me. Find me on Instagram at meg.2241. And I guess that's all from me for now. Thanks for joining.
Awesome. Oh, yes, I forgot. have your Instagram. I didn't pin it, so it's been put into the live chat at some point, but I do hope
Oh,
everybody pops on
it's up
over
now.
to Meg's Instagram. Here it is. Meg on Instagram. That's where she shares most of her projects. And so if you love Meg's art, because I feel like your cards are not just cards, they are works of art.
Aw,
And
thanks.
um, like really they are. I mean, they really, really are. Like I any card that you send me, I feel like deserves to be put in a frame. Oh look, Streamlabs like right on cue just dropped it into the chat. Thanks,
They
Streamlabs.
did.
Um so so do visit Meg on Instagram. I hope you check out our next coloring with Meg, which is October 20th, where she is going to color this gorgeous Halloween Pals illustration by Sire. And then following that, do join Meg. She's going to help me kick off the masterclass, Easy Holiday Crafting Masterclass. And that's Monday, the 21st. And be on the lookout for some sneak peeks and some new release inspiration coming up from Meg. Thanks everybody for joining us on this one. And thank you, Meg, for sharing a little bit about yourself and giving us your perspective on card making, paper crafting, and design teams and all the things. Really appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, Lynn. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.